Hey, Usama, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hey, if you don't mind, until people come, I just want to share my screen and make sure everything looks fine on your end.
Yeah, sure, sure.
Let's wait a few minutes for people to join. Then I'll outline everything. We have a bunch of people joining us, so it's going to be super exciting. We also had to do a last minute wildcard entry as one of the projects broke. So excited to see that demo as well. Okay, let's wait a couple of minutes. So, Gal, I think you were early, so you don't want to go early. I've asked Eamon to share the uh, list. Okay, she's already shared it, so we'll be going in that order. She shared it like 12 hours ago. So, Suman, you'll be first. Let's wait a few more minutes, a couple of more minutes, and then we can get started. Sanjay, how's your project coming along? I haven't seen it recently.
It's going well. I think I did a lot in the beginning, but my calendar got really busy over the last week. But I'm excited to show what I have, and I signed up to continue this journey. So I'll continue building on this.
Yep, I saw that. Thank you for that. I'm excited to continue the journey with you. Okay, let me just share my screen, get started, because we do have a lot of demos. So let's see. Perfect. Can everyone see my screen? Awesome. So firstly, thank you everyone for joining. It's super unbelievable. It's been 2.5 weeks since writing no line of code for most people to building complete applications. I know I've been like really pushing everyone to move quickly, and things have been awesome. It was a roller coaster ride up and down, but we have some awesome products for you guys, for us to show you guys today. So I'm really excited about that. For those that just joined, I'm the founder of a company called Remote Base. We've been running it for about 5 years, and then recently launched a venture studio that's building a few products. And seems like the more I build SnapDev, the more time it's consuming. So it's definitely where I spend most of my time. So SnapDev is in. So let me talk a little bit about SnapDev as well, because we have a lot of new people joining the call. So it's an AI coding assistant that helps you build products and turn ideas into complete products. It goes from helping you generate PRDs to development plans to coding it out and then launching, and then deploying those projects. But what's super interesting is SnapCamp, which is what this demo day is all about. So it's a 2.5 week, super intense boot camp. You come in with ideas and then you leave with products. We have a V2 around the corner as well, which makes the process far quicker, far easier. So super excited to launch that for the next cohort. We'll also share it with everyone in this cohort as well. And then a very important part of all of this is the one-on-one engineering support and the community that's built around this as you continue building. Because I feel like without the engineering support and without the community, it becomes much harder. And that's what sort of differentiates us from any other product or any other bootcamp, is that one-on-one engineering time, which means that whenever you're stuck, engineers can hop on a call. We give 5 hours of engineering time to every participant in the bootcamp. We did have a few go over that time, which we compensated for. Like, it's completely fine, but that's what drives this entire thing, is we're very like focused towards matching with one-on-one experts when you get stuck. And then the mission is super simple, like you turn ideas into fully functional products within 2.5 weeks. So looking at this cohort at a glance, we had 29 participants in total. We had 5 mentors, over 105 hours of engineering support was provided, and 24 products shipped. So congratulations, everyone that has shipped. We have a few remaining, and we're pushing hard even this week to make sure they're shipped. So we'll be trying our best to make sure it's 100% success rate. But that is what the cohort is at a glance so far. So we what is happening today, we'll see the demos from cohort 2 and see what they've all built. We will be voting for our top picks, and we do have prizes, so it's going to be fun. And the winning prizes are so best thing we can offer, in my opinion, was our support and engineering. So the first position gets 3 months of our highest tier, which gives you not just the community and the coding assistant and the platform and version 2, but 5 hours of engineering time every month. So you'll get like engineering support for free for the next 3 months, 5 hours every month. Second is 2 months, and then third is 1 month free subscription for our packages. So once you win, we'll share coupon codes with you. And if some of you have already paid for those, so if you've done that already, that's completely fine. You'll still get these added on to whatever package you've selected. All of this would not have been possible without our awesome mentors that have volunteered to be a part of this cohort. Cassie, Katrina, Garrett, Shayan, and Stan. I can't thank you enough for making this all possible. It would be completely impossible for me to do, or for us as a team to do all of this if you guys were not around. So thank you for all of this and jumping on calls and volunteering and helping everyone out. Like, really, really appreciate it. Ha, once again, like always, has been a rock star. I don't know how she does it. She's been just helping out, not just with this cohort, but with the next cohort as well, which I'm happy to report we have over 25 people signed up so far for the next cohort, and the cohort is almost a month away. So things are really, really, these are signups. So let's see how many actually become a part of the cohort. And yeah, so thank you so much, Ha, for everything that you do. And then of course the team behind all of this, Osama and Zan, that have worked probably closer to 12 hours a day at least every single day, and deserve at least 3 months off. But we have a bunch of cohorts coming up. We have a private cohort. Deb is leading that on September 5th. Then September 12th, we have the next cohort. And then Eamon, of course, who's been running everything operationally behind the scenes. So thank you, Eamon, for making sure everything keeps moving, because it was definitely a lot of work. Like, this wasn't just your regular boot camp where you have one instructor and 100, 200, 500 participants. This was much more involved for every single individual. um, lots of learnings as well as we continue to build. But thank you all for your support. And then of course our engineering teams behind the scenes that was providing one-on-one engineering support. Happy to report the size of the engineering team has doubled for the next cohort already. So we have a bunch of new engineers joining us. So we're scaling quickly. This is like turning into more than just a full-time commitment despite the other work that I'm doing. And we're scaling very, very quickly. So super excited about that. So before we get into the demos, which you're all here for, if you would like to join the next session, the link is above. Tuition is going to be 1995, but 1495 is what the discounted rate is going to be. Apologies for the typo on the date. So if you sign up today, it's just going to take 2 minutes. It won't charge you anything right away, but just put your name in there for those that are joining this. It's going to come with 5 hours of one-on-one engineering time. We are already moving from Gemini to Claude. So we're in talks with Anthropic right now to make sure the next cohort uses Claude, because it's like really works really, really well. And then you get over 10 hours of live sessions. And then you will be shipping products. And if you don't, just like I said in this cohort, we're going to make sure we're going to continue working with you. I've already pinged a couple of you already so that you can ship, because that is for us the most important part, is shipping, I know a lot of more time should be dedicated to products and how to build them and ideation. But as far as the bootcamp is concerned, it's all about shipping. So anyone in this cohort that's left shipping, which is 5 people, we're gonna push to ship this coming week. So we will paste these links. I've kept this short because I don't want this entire deck to be around cohort 3 and all that we're doing with that. So we have an info session coming up. Eamon, if you could share the link in the chat for the info session and the sign up link. So please sign up for it and get your name in there so you can avail that discount. It was initially 10 participants, but we just crossed that today. Thanks to Chloe, who's also part of this call. She made a post about it, and we're getting a bunch of people as well. So thank you so much for that. But yeah, so we'll share the links in the chat. So we've covered this already for people in the current cohort. You can join different tiers. The bottom ones are tiers for more continued support and having bi-weekly calls with you so that you can continue building. The top ones, you stay part of the community and you get credits so you can continue using the platform. Happy to answer any questions. I'll post about this in the Slack as well. And then anyone that's interested in becoming a mentor in the next cohort, and I think around 4 people have reached out to me already, but please ping me, DM me. I know I've been slow at responding to a couple of people that reached out regarding mentorship, but I will get back to all of you. I was just focusing a lot on just shipping products and just matching engineers with people. But if you want a mentor for the next cohort, please reach out. We'd be happy to have you. And lastly, anyone that's not filled out the form yet, please fill it out. Super critical. This is for people from cohort 2 that have not filled out the feedback form. If you could fill it out, that would be awesome. So with that being said, I covered it as quickly as I could so that we could dedicate the maximum amount of time for demos. Let's just dive into our demos. We have Suman first. Suman, it's going to be 5 minutes for demo and 2 minutes for Q&A. If you go over 5 minutes, you will just cut into your Q&A time, but it will be a hard stop in 7 minutes. So let's share your screen and let's get started.
Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. I am really excited to share today. This has been super fun. My app that I built is currently called Responsible. It is potentially going to be renamed, but I did a play on Aura Farming to build basically a chore management system for parents that are tired of nagging their children to do their chores. So it's a gamified system that takes it out of the parents' hands, allows them to put one central device in the home and have the children interact with it and earn rewards. They can steal from each other. They can claim more stuff, and it's really fun. So this is a little bit about what you can do. You can create harvests, again, for Aura farming. The rewards system allows you to exchange rewards, which are Aura points, in exchange for different things that you as a parent can set up based on your own family values and what you do in your life, in your home. So I'm going to skip through registration, where you would set up your family, you would set up your children, and you would maybe make some initial harvests. And I'm going to go into the dashboard.
Zoom in. I'm just going to say we can see the black Zoom screen on top. So I don't know if there's a way to minimize that, or at least just drag it down, because I want to see your beautiful eye.
Is that better?
You can just move it to the corner at the bottom.
Well, I think it's gone.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, that works.
Okay. Okay. You should give me 10 seconds back for that snafu, guys. So this is the Family Hub. You land up on this dashboard, and I'm a user that's already been using this tool for a while. So you can see all of my family's Aura, how many active harvests we have going right now. We can see who's on the leaderboard and what's upcoming. So in this area, I'm the administrator, I'm the parent. I can create harvest. I can look at all of the harvests that are created. They're either completed, in progress, or they need to be assigned to a child, or they can be just left unassigned, in which case a child can claim them. Here you can create a harvest. I made a bunch of sort of templates here and added the coins and the earnings that you can get. You can add some steps, or if you don't want to use one of those canned ones, you can make your own. When you make your own, you can assign to one of the children in your household. You can set a deadline. You can add sub steps, and then you can also make it reoccurring on a daily or a weekly basis. So what's really took me a lot of time was, for one, obviously I'm using this in my own home, and I'm testing it with my own users in my house, which is my children. So that was kind of, as a product person, one of the good things about choosing this as a prototype. So what I realized is not every kid has their own device. Not every kid has access to a phone or an iPad all day long. And so I want it to be something that a parent can set up and put centrally on an iPad, and then it'll connect eventually to whatever you use in your home, whether that's Nest or Google Home or Alexa. And it should connect around and kind of pull together your a reward system based on, you know, what you value in your home. So I didn't want kids to have a device. So what I created is this thing called enable farming mode. So again, as a parent, I can turn on farming mode. When I do this, the screen, all the administrative tools goes away, and I can see, as a child, I can see what I've got as far as aura. And then I can see the tasks that I can claim, the things that I can complete because they're already assigned to me. And I can basically get more aura. So by claiming this, I'm going to pick who I am, and then I have a little pin, which kids have to keep it a secret, so no one knows your pin. And now I've claimed this. Now I can click to complete it. I see that it's due, and if I decide to complete it, it's going to give me more aura. So the other cool thing about this is I've got to be, as a parent, I've got to exit. So I have to put in my code to exit this area and go back to the dashboard where, again, there's administrative tools. Within here, there are rewards. And so there's a rewards management system where parents can create rewards. I think eventually I'll also build in those canned rewards. But for now, I put in things like 10 minutes of screen time for 100 points, or $5, or movie night, or hugs and kisses and cuddles. I also am going to allow kids to pay to swap a harvest with any unassigned harvest of equal or lesser value. So they're like, I just really don't want to feed the dog today. I'm gonna just sweep the floor instead. And that's a thing they can pay for. The other thing they can do is add a date to their deadline. So you can get really creative with this, again, based on what motivates your kids and how you want to run your household, all to take the nagging out of it. And so once a child wants to redeem, it goes into request, again, that the parents would have to approve. Yeah, and guys, that's pretty much it. I had a blast doing this. I have gotten lots of encouragement from other parents in this room that think this could be, used by their families as well. So I'm really proud of it, and I can't stop working on it. And so yeah, I'm happy to hear your questions.
Awesome. Thank you. We will take only one question. This was absolutely amazing, Suman, and congratulations on all the progress. Anyone can open the mic and ask one question only. No questions.
What do your kids think of it?
They are so excited to use it. They have had a lot to say about the name, and they're really just anxious to steal from each other. I think that's what their main feedback is.
Okay, amazing. Thanks, Suman. I would recommend everyone on the call to just make notes if possible, because we will have voting at the end to select the winners on Zoom itself. So now would be a time to take notes. Awesome. So next up we have Deanna.
I really wish I went first because that is super hard to follow, Suman. That looked amazing. So amazing job on that. I'm gonna share my screen and then minimize this. So if something looks off, please just yell, because I won't see any of y'all. And I'm gonna have a little timer here myself, but anyone feels like I'm starting to go over, please also yell. Okay. All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Diana. And today I will be demoing my product, which is called Biff, which just so happens to be the name of my dog. Just some quick personal background on what inspired the app. My best friend, Christina, if she's on the call, hi. She's an amazing illustrator. And over the last decade, I've really absorbed and heard a lot about the struggles that she and other creative artists go through on a day-to-day basis managing their business. There's so much back office admin that they have to deal with, you know, managing inventory, doing marketing, all sorts of stuff that I feel like so many creators don't really have time to take a step back and understand, you know, how they're actually performing at events, you know, what products are people actually resonating with. So I built this to hopefully give them a practical tool to help support their creative careers. And what I talk a lot about in the demos I've done so far with my pod is really my human-centric philosophy and trying to infuse as much empathy and positivity as possible. So I just want to start here with the empty state. So if you're a new user, you're going to be greeted by these summary cards, which instead of just saying 0, 0, 0 and making you feel like, oh, I haven't accomplished anything yet, the copy and the framing is really meant to be encouraging. So ready to share your art, you know, let's see your pieces, let's build your community, etc. So I'm going to quickly just run through some features here. I might not get to all of them. Doing a quick check on the time. And let's see if my, okay. So here you can, so instead of calling it products, we're calling it creations. So here you can import from different platforms. I'm gonna just show this demo with Etsy as an example. So you can basically export your product catalog from somewhere else and then go ahead and import it here. For the purpose of this MVP, these are manual imports, but in the future, they will be API enabled. And you can see that all of the columns are searchable. You can easily adjust your stocks here, your stock quantity levels. You can also filter depending on the product category. You can add collection tags. So let's see if we can actually do that here quickly. If not, I might move on to another product. It's a little slow. So yeah, so here, let's say you have a exclusive Comic-Con. So you'll enter it in, press enter, and then it'll act like a tag. And so you can have multiple collections tagged, and then you can do some analysis on how did collections do against each other. And then on the sales side, you can also import transactions. So very similar to what we were doing in products. So I'm gonna just import from Square. Let's see. Okay, and so it's going to redirect me automatically after it's successfully imported. Again, sortable as well here. And then what's going to happen is if we go back to our main screen, you're going to see that this has populated because these are all dynamic summary cards. So 9 creations, 10 people reached. This was your best month ever. So let's go to events really quick. I'm actually going to switch screens just to show you how it looks like. Let's see, I don't know if it's populating. So these are some events that I already put ahead of time, but you'll see that there are these static cost categories that are pretty typical for any event. So you can just add those on, and then you'll be able to quickly assess like ROI, profit margin for different events. So it might be the case that you spent more on one event for expenses, but you still, you know, had a higher profit margin. So that is what that should be doing. And then customers, again, there's a bunch of filters, a bunch of search functionality there. This customer list, excuse me, was imported along with the sales data. So this actually was already part of that first import. And then the last thing I'll show, see what I'm doing on time, is something that comes up a lot is folks who are trying to decide whether or not they should do this event or that event. Maybe it's a new event they've never done before. So this is an event prediction calculator. So you would essentially select 2 events or 3 events that you've done before. You'd say, okay, this is a new event. I'm expected to pay $40 for a booth, spend $100 on travel costs. I have $60 in material cost. I know that it's an indoor market. It's pretty similar to this event that I did, and maybe it's a little less similar here. You know, what is my projected revenue and ultimate profit after those costs that we plugged in? And then it's giving you a confidence level at how confident this prediction is. And then big disclaimer, rough estimate only, planning purposes only. So you can do that for different events. And then there's a bunch of other features that will be built out later, like expenses, etc. But and then again, like top performing products. This feature here is dynamic based on time of day. Yeah, there's a ton more I want to build, but I will stop here for now.
That's awesome, Deanna, and the UI looks incredible, and so does the entire experience. So congratulations. Um, I think if people have questions, they can even post in the chat moving forward. We can take one question, and then next up we have Minky, then Abhishek, then Ankita. So these are the next three people, so just be prepared. Any questions from Deanna? No questions. Okay, awesome. Great job. We have a lot of comments coming in the chat. Feel free to ask questions there. Minky, you are up next.
Hey,
Thanks,
folks.
Diana. This was amazing.
+1, totally. I think I need to make this smaller. Okay, cool. I think like many folks, I love money. I want to become ridiculously rich one day, but I'm also really passionate about empowering women in tech, particularly with financial literacy. So much so that during my day job, for the past few years, I've been running a 7-week financial literacy program that has graduated over 2,000 colleagues of mine. Saying all of this to say, even though I get a kick out of the exit survey that says this program has changed my life, the most common request is I want the content to be more actionable, more executional, more like doable for me. And this is a response to that I've always wanted to build out. Basically, you plop in your portfolio through a spreadsheet, and then you update your input. For example, when might you want financial independence? Potentially stop working. I want to do that yesterday, but we got to continue. When might you die? Fortunately, we need to think about it. Death and taxes, the two consistent variables in life. How much would you contribute annually towards your financial independence, and how much would you withdraw after financial independence? So all of that variables put in. We do a breakdown of your portfolio. This might be slightly different than the portfolio breakdown that you normally see, but I think this way really helps you understand your risk and reward assessment of your portfolio. And after you do the portfolio, we then go into your success probability based on the Monte Carlo simulator. And 72%, okay, I might not be able to be so bougie after I reach financial independence. And it sort of walks, oh no. I triggered the Monte Carlo simulator to restart. Okay, let me walk you through. There we go. Okay. It lags a bit sometimes. So it walks you through what are some of the main variables that you might be able to change to reach the target 90 to 95% target. And then I think this is also really helpful in a sensitivity analysis. Okay, 250,000 income at 60 might be a bit too risky. What happens if I potentially reduce the income or work for a few more years? And you can continue to change the inputs above to make this dynamic and all of that. And everybody, even though I feel like some of the systematic changes to investment, like how long you work, how much you invest, might have bigger levers, they all are super interested in how's my actual portfolio. And we also did a portfolio optimization section. So a lot of prompt engineering to give you very sort of specific, not only what you should do with your portfolio, or rather considerations of what you should do with your portfolio, but also why you might be doing it. And just slapping on disclaimers everywhere that I'm not a financial advisor, this is for educational purposes only. Once you have that, then the questions start coming in. So you have a chat bot that is going to read through your portfolio, your financial situation, and then start giving you, okay, you're able to talk with it. And we were able to, again, prompt engineer like the type of responses, but also adding in money psychology in how the chat is able to guide the discussion and how to answer some of the questions. I did want to pause here and just share. I didn't get to do everything, so maybe just a quick sneak peek of where we do want to go. So one thing I noticed with our program was people really like communities, and I think that's where, like, we never are taught about money in school or families, and it's a taboo subject, but actually being in a community talking about money is actually a really empowering thing. So what I eventually want to do is create a forum where anonymously you can ask a bunch of questions, like anything related. This is targeting women in tech, so you'll only have like a tagline of, oh, this person is from Meta, this person is from Google, etc. And I think the kicker is if you click on any of the community members, you actually see their portfolio breakdown. So everything is anonymized, but and you also see like their milestones. So basically you got to walk the talk. You can't just, spout advice and not like be investing into your 401k, because people will find out. Let me pause there. Thank you.
That's amazing, Minky. I think I need to take a few lessons from this. So would definitely use it. I feel like a lot of people are commenting that they'd love to use the product. So it would be a great idea for every person that's demoing to leave their email in the chat so people could reach out. So that I'd love to use this as well. So please leave your emails there. Next up, we have Ankita. So we're going to skip questions because we're over time, but Ankita, let's take it away.
Hi, everyone. First of all, amazing presentation so far. I saw Diana's and Minky's yesterday in our cohort, and just amazing. But so my project is essentially, I'll just give a bit of a background, is an AI habit tracker that essentially just takes your bigger goals and breaks them down into daily, weekly, monthly habits. And yeah, so it's a relatively simple app, but something I really wanted to focus on is like the user experience and user interface. So yeah. Okay, so this is how the dashboard looks like. And essentially you have all of your bigger goals that you want, and it's broken down into habits that you can do weekly, daily, monthly, and you have filters that you can kind of sort out and see which ones you need to do for the day or the week. And so you have an aggregated to-do list out of like all your goals and then all the habits associated with them, and you can basically check mark them. Oh my gosh, sorry. Yeah, so you can just check mark them and then it'll appear here as the completed and remaining in your total habits. And I created this fun theme maker just in case you wanted a different look to your app. And to create a new goal, basically what you can do is you can type your new goal here. Let's just say it's to get a dog. And if you want to, you can decide what day you want to get a dog. Let's just say you want to get a dog by November 1st. And then you can put your category and it'll create your habits for you. And then it'll get one here. And so let's just say it creates habits based on what it thinks you need to do to get a dog. And let's just say you're happy with some of them, but you're not happy with every one of them. You can add a habit. You can, update this. Let's just say you already had a vet, you can do this. And then you can save your changes and then it'll update for you here, and then it'll update on your to-do as well. And so these are just fun metrics that show you what categories you have for each of your goals. And then this is also just to show how many habits you have daily and weekly and stuff. And yeah, I built this little chat bot. I know it's not necessary because it is such a simple app for just navigating. So if you want to create new goal, it'll just take you to the area that you want to create new goal, for example. And yeah, that is basically it.
That's awesome, Ankita. This is super incredible. I'd love to use it. So if you could drop your email, that would be great. Let's move on to, so we have Danny next, then Amy, and then Shri. So let's continue, but this was absolutely amazing. I really like how cool the chatbot is. It just takes you there. So quick question, because you finished a bit early, is we discussed this earlier, but now that you've been through these 2.5 weeks, if you were to build this on your own, how long do you think it would have taken you or a team to do it?
Yeah, so
Before
I'd
the,
actually love to give like a little bit of background on why I even created this. So I used to be a software engineer in big tech a few years ago, and then I actually really randomly like got scouted on the street in New York. I got a 3-year modeling contract with an agency there, and I basically just traveled the world with them, did my, just did that whole experience with them. And so I feel like the only thing that got me through that, I actually had no prior fashion experience, anything. And the only thing that got me through that was breaking down, how do I walk a runway? Okay, I need to every day research this or that or practice this walk. And I feel like this was something that I would have really needed back then. And so now that I'm kind of coming at the end of my 3-year contract, I um, signed up for this thinking, I'm going to build a super simple app, and because I have my prior engineering experience without the help of AI, and I built this in like 2 days, and I was like, oh, before it would have taken months, like with my prior engineering experience. And so it's been really cool to kind of see how AI has just helped speed these things up, and it's been really an incredible experience. And now I'm actually entering back into the tech and job market in like a product management role. And so I'm super excited to use this and see how it helps me get there.
Yep. Thank you. So the reason I asked is because you're one of the few people, like a couple of people, there are like 5 people that had prior engineering experience. So it's interesting to see how it went from months to 2 days. Awesome. Danny, do you want to take over?
Sure, let me share my screen. Nope, nope, not the whole screen. Sorry. Share. Stop sharing. All right. So a little bit of context before I jump in. So just before SnapCamp started, I was chatting with some friends. A friend of mine works at a mid-tier private equity firm, and he was telling me about how many kind of inbound requests they get every year for people that want to have their company acquired. So the firm he works at gets 1,200 inbound requests a year, which is over 4 a day. And they just don't have the ability to evaluate them all. So we were joking around, and I was like, all right, well, I'll build you an AI to work on that for you. So I built Benjamin, which is what I'm calling private equity's new AI associate. Benjamin enables companies to evaluate acquisitions in minutes instead of days. So let's jump in. I'll show you what it looks like. So I'm going to log in. I already created an account just to speed things up. Okay, so we're going to create a new project, right? I put myself in the position of an associate at a PE firm, and I'm getting 4 of these inbound companies that need to be evaluated every day. So I'm going to go create a project, and we're going to call this project migration, and we'll call it in acquisition eval. So when I start my project, I can see that there's 3 steps to the acquisition evaluation process within Benjamin. First is an initial evaluation report, then generating a financial model, and then a final evaluation report. And what I'm going to do is start by adding what's called a target company file. So I got this confidential information memorandum from a company that wants to be acquired. I upload that. My PE firm does a lot of work in a variety of spaces. So as a PE firm, we have sector views that we keep up to date on different types of sectors. I'm going to upload that file as well. And now I'm going to ask Benjamin to generate an initial evaluation report. So I'm going to trigger this. And while it's running in the background, I see that it'll take about 1 to 2 minutes. We'll see how quickly it actually goes. But while it's working, let me explain a little bit about how it works. So in the background, Benjamin has now taken each of these files. It's tagged them so that it knows that this is a company file from the target company, and this is from our internal reference files. It's taken these 2 files, it's creating a vector store, uploading these documents to a vector store, labeling them accordingly, and then pulling that information together with a fairly robust prompt that gets submitted through the Responses API for OpenAI to GPT 4.1. And in that, Benjamin is asking GPT 4.1 to review the target company files, review the internal reference files, do a bunch of web searching to find the latest information about this target company, research kind of activity that's happening in the sector to understand whether things are moving in a positive or negative direction. And then it compiles all of that into what you might think of like a mini deep research report, which you'll see in a moment when this thing is done generating. And when it's done generating, what we'll get is a file that pops up here on the screen and a link to download it. I'm just going to let it go for another minute because I can see it working in the terminal. But the idea here is that as an associate at a PE firm, I'm able to run this, and through this sort of very structured set of sequences that are managed by a Celery worker in the background, it goes through analysis and AI supported generation of a bunch of different types of documents for my type of company. After we're done with this, we'll jump forward, and what will happen in the financial model is we'll actually take all the initial evaluation reports, the target company information, the internal reference files, and we'll combine all of that into a document that'll get created for a financial model. So now I've got my initial evaluation report. I'm going to download the document. I'll open it for everyone to see and change the screen that I'm sharing here for a moment. And you can see that what's been generated is an initial evaluation report that a private equity associate would expect to see in evaluating a company. In fact, this is the type of report that they would generate if they were doing this manually. It includes an exec summary, an overview of the business, a market overview, and in each section, the prompt to GPT 4.1 is to clearly identify the reasoning of how it came to its position in each of these sections. So now that we have our initial evaluation report, we're going to jump back over into Benjamin, and what we want to do is generate a financial model, although my screen sharing is frozen. So now we're going to generate a financial model. Let's say my firm wants to target a 15% annual return, and we'll put in a weighted average cost of capital and a discount rate. And now we're going to generate a financial model in the background. And like I mentioned earlier, what this is doing is it's kicking off a series of tasks where it's combining the initial evaluation report, the target company and internal files, and again, uploading it to a vector store, sending it to GPT 4.1 with a very detailed prompt on how GPT 4.1 should look for information in all these files, conduct web searching to come up with thoughtful, well-grounded projection assumptions to take revenue and cash flow forward from the last actual year to 5 years forward, and then combines that all into a really nicely formatted Excel file. This tends to take like 3 to 5 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open another file that was generated. We'll come back to the screen in a minute. But here's an example of a file I generated earlier today. And you can see it includes, this was for another example company that I was looking at that was a collision repair center. It includes a summary of all the different types of key assumptions. I'm trying to parse them from a string coming back from OpenAI into this nice grid. So it's all showing as NA at the moment. But what we get is the actual important part, which is a set of the actual financial data that's extracted from all the documents from the company, and a set of projections that are there that we can actually do a free cash flow and enterprise value calculation on. I realize I only have like 30 seconds left, so I'm going to jump back. We can see that the Excel model was generated. If I go here and generate a final evaluation report, it's now combining all the information that Benjamin has gathered throughout all these different stages and generating a financial, a final evaluation report that you would expect to be able to provide to an investment committee at a private equity company. So again, just for the sake of time, here's an example of the final evaluation report that I generated earlier. In the executive summary, it actually combines all the information it's gathered into a recommendation on whether or not to pursue an acquisition of the company, what a target valuation might be, how that valuation is substantiated with all the research that's been done, right? And there's just a bunch of more stuff in here. So we don't have the time to go through all of that. I think I'm at my 7 minutes. But that is Benjamin, the AI associate for private equity firms.
That's incredible. If anyone wants to sell their companies eventually, you know who to reach out to. Thanks. We have a couple of questions in the chat. Maybe you could answer them. And then
Sure.
next we have Amy. So you can answer them in the chat. Amy, do you want to take over? And great job, Daniel.
Oh yeah, do you want me to go? Yeah. Okay, let me share mine. So mine is Watchwise. I went in a slightly different direction. I love all the projects because I feel like a lot of them are projects I would use in making people better humans and good people. I went in a totally different direction. So the inspiration for my project was I was just a learning experience for myself, and I watch a lot of TV, which is where that started. So I created Watchwise. I'm just going to log in. This image I spent a little bit of time with, and because it was loading very slowly, but what I liked about this image is it's generated on the fly and it changes all the time. So it pulls in what's trending. So I'm using it's called the Movie Database API, which is open source. You can get movie data. All the imagery is Creative Commons license, so it's all available to use. So I have this pulling from what are the most trending media titles, and then it repeats. So it is different every day. So let's create a new account to sign up. Can log in. Oh, let me just do a new. Stir.com password. Oh my God. There we go. It'll take you through 2 screens. So one to select your genres. So I'll just do what I love: horror, mystery, crime. The more murders, the better for me. So documentary, crime, continue. And then for me, just my pain point is I'm trying to cut down on my streaming services. So I only want to, let's show me titles that are on Netflix, Hulu, HBO. Let's see, I have Amazon. And then finish. So then opening the screen. So it is a mix of rows right now. And I don't know why that's not working. Hold on. This was working. Let's see if I go back. It's supposed to have saved what I put in there. All right, well, something's not working. That's okay. You know, let me just try logging out and logging back in. And then if that doesn't work, that's fine. Log out. Oh my God. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now it takes you to the screen. I did a mix of rows though. So for what's trending, this is just showing what's trending. It's not taking into account the settings that I set. These 2 rows are, so recommended movies and recommended TV, or bringing in all the horror, crime, the different settings that I had, showing what's available in my streaming. I was just playing around to see what I could get from the movie database. So pulling some of the easier ones to get, top rated, upcoming, and then mixing some titles. So there's 4 or 5 parameters behind this high-rated but underrated gems. It's a terrible title, but it's pulling together like 5 different parameters in the back end to pull together rows of titles. And then clicking on one brings up an entity page, getting all this data again from the movie database, or most of the data for the movie database. Title, the user score, some metadata. This doesn't work yet. I've got pieces of this working on on my local, but I don't want to demo it here because it's not working totally. But to like or to love it. So my hope is that you would get more recommendations based on titles that you've liked or similar, similar attributes to multiple titles that you've liked. You can add it to the watch list, and then you can edit from here. And that's about it.
That's awesome. Quick question, Amy. So if new shows come out, all of this data is dynamically loaded, right?
Yes.
That's pretty incredible.
Yeah. I mean, it should be. Are these? Yeah,
No, these are.
Yeah,
These are-
yeah. It was changed as I was going over time with local. I also have trailers working, and it shows you what's available on my local, but I'm currently fighting with Rue at the moment. But I had a few things more working. It's just kind of in different stages. Yeah, it's been helpful for myself. I found a couple of good titles to watch for myself.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. So next up we have Shri. If anyone has any questions for Amy, please post in the chat, and everyone please take notes because you will have to vote at the end, and please stay or try to stay till the end of it. It is gonna go 15 minutes over the 1 hour mark at least. Shri, do you want to take over?
Sure, thank you. Hey everyone. So my product is a B2B product called AI PBC. PBC stands for Prepared by Client. It's basically used by CPA firms every time they are called upon to do financial due diligence like Danny's product, or do a tax audit, or do a financial audit for a bank or big corporations. They have to engage with that client and request a ton of documents. If you've engaged a CPA ever before, you would have received first a engagement letter, a contract, and then you have to supply a ton of documents to them. Now multiply that by 10x or 100x. That's a kind of documents that clients have to supply to CPA firms in order to conduct their due diligence and sign off on financial statements, etc. Most of the products out there are just not AI native, so I just took a stab at a B2B product to help CPA firms. So if CPA firms did not have an account, they would just sign up, provide some basic details to capture the details. In this case, I've already signed up, so I will log in. Once I log in, I have a quick dashboard to see all of my clients who have engaged with me. I'm going to add a new client, and this might be Bank of America. I'm just going to do some basic data entry operation so that I get a good engagement letter. And then I just provide the engagement date. Well, they're contacting me today for services all the way till end of December, but I'm just entering some junk data. I'm just going to tell the industry that the client belongs to. They've incorporated as C corporation. Their entity structure is also a C corporation. And this is where I call OpenAI to generate a engagement letter. So just give some basic fields. And obviously, the engagement letter is pretty custom normally in a CPA engagement, but it can be fine-tuned better and made pretty generic. It takes the CPA from 60% there based on the industry type, C corporation, incorporation, etc. And once you have the engagement letter, you can download it as a PDF or a Word format. You can customize it even better. Phase 2 of this would be to send this directly over to the client with an e-signature. But for the sake of this vibe coding project, we kept the scope low. I could also regenerate it. I can based on additional context out here. But the next step is based on this engagement letter is to generate a checklist. This is again the list of documents, the asks for this particular engagement by the CPA firm, if it's a financial due diligence or if it's a financial audit or a statement validation for this client. It goes and figures out the most common items based on the engagement type, and it generates a checklist by calling OpenAI. and it produces the list of documents, as you can see, that are needed from that client. I can add more line items to this. I can edit, I can delete this. I can see all of the details here. But the next step is, of course, I'm going to create a login for my client. So and I just save this. I'll copy the password here. Normally it would go as an email, but for ease of demo, I'm just displaying the password out here. Just going to try the login here. Sometimes the copy of the password does not work exactly, as Amy also encountered. Okay, I'm going to use an existing client that I already signed in. And I look at the details here, and this is where I can start uploading the documents out here. For example, I need to upload some financial statements out here. Maybe it's an income statement. I upload it out here. I get a confirmation that it's uploaded successfully. It's also asking for a fixed assets register. I have no idea what that means. A lot of the back and forth in a PBC engagement goes in not understanding what the ask is. So this is where I ping OpenAI again as well to understand what this line item ask is. So I go to get a good explanation. Based on this, I can upload the right documents. So this saves the back and forth. Once it's all done, it comes back on the CPA firm side. And this is where I can see all of the documents that have been uploaded. And I can see the status of it. And based on the documents that were uploaded, again, there's a call to AI to see if any additional documents are needed for conducting this diligence exercise. And so AI brings about additional suggestions as well, that based on some of the documents that you've uploaded, you probably need income statements in detail for each of the quarters or by the month. So I can either accept the suggestion or reject the suggestion. I need probably a cash flow statement as well. And the engagement continues to ensure that it is tight and the CPA firms have all of the data that they need from clients for a faster and smoother engagement. So that's my product, which is called AI PBC.
That's super incredible. Shri, you should probably like market this to firms. Like, I think there's like definitely a need for this.
Thank you.
Awesome. That is amazing. And then we have Sanjay and then Gal. So Sanjay, do you want to take over?
Yeah. Hey, everyone. My name's Sanjay. This bootcamp has been awesome. I'm an accountant by trade. And then for the past 4 years, I've been selling accounting software for companies that transact in digital assets. And so there's a theme here into what I'm building. This product was inspired by my belief in kind of the digital asset space, specifically Bitcoin. And then also inspiring people to save money every day. And so what I wanted to focus on was an app. It's a B2C app that allows people to hopefully resist the urge to spend on something and redirect that savings into Bitcoin. Or redirect that into savings. And the asset class doesn't necessarily matter, but for my initial version, I'm thinking the asset class that I want to think about is Bitcoin. So hence the name Burge, which means, resist the urge, save in Bitcoin. I had zero coding background, and really from watching these demos today, I think I limited what I thought was possible and really inspired to continue to build this. So I built out the login workflow. New users can register, if they forgot their password, they can re-engage. Once you log in, you're brought to the dashboard page. And the primary call to action that I wanted to really call out or inspire here is for the individual to focus on actioning their savings. So a user example is, I'm driving to work, usually stop in for a coffee at Starbucks, but I'm going to resist that urge. I know I have coffee at the office. I'm going to skip that coffee. And so I'm going to log that as an event, which is the Verge event here. So I'm going to say I skipped a coffee. That's $5 that I saved right now or didn't spend. And I am immediately able to save that $5 or redirect that $5 into Bitcoin. We are getting the live feed of the Bitcoin price at this time and are able to, reverse calculate what that fiat USD saving amount translates to in Bitcoin. And the idea is really inspired by like books like Atomic Habits, where there are really small things that, if done consistently, can have really remarkable impact over the long term. And so I want folks to be able to build that habit of saving consistently over time. And then that's the idea behind this product. So one of the other things that I thought about is what inspires me to save is really thinking about the future and what being able to really see what these small steps that I'm taking could mean in the long time. So this projections card is something that I spent a little bit of time building. And the goal is, as I continue to tinker on this, is to allow for more AI intervention here, where there is some understanding of market dynamics that automatically builds these projections out instead of having the user have to input this. But today, let's say that I skipped my coffee today on the drive to work, and I'm going to assume, hey, I'm going to skip my coffee every day. That's going to save me $5. And let's see what happens over the next 15 years if we put this into a deflationary asset like Bitcoin. And let's assume the average rate of return is 15%. Let's say an S&P 500 returns you 10%. And then if you're saving in cash, you're really losing money with inflation. So I'm going to put -3 there. And then I'm going to calculate my savings. So that skipping of that Starbucks could potentially be an extra $40,000. And, time is really the biggest friend here. So as you increase the time that you continue this actions, that number could get really big. And really being able to see, okay, what it could mean if I saved in different asset classes to do, and what could the return look like. Let's go back to the dashboard. I also have a page that has the history. And what I wanted to be able to highlight is you can see, depending on the date of your Verge event, we're able to query the price of Bitcoin at the time to be able to calculate your simulated Bitcoin holding. And, I'm a math nerd, so we got into building out some average rate or average cost of the Bitcoins that you purchased. There's some different things that you can do towards adding more to your savings. So thought about, you're skipping an expense, you're finding a cheaper version. Maybe you spend a little bit of time doing something in the gig economy to earn a little bit extra. And this allows you to really think about how you can drive your savings goals. Talking about goals, I also built a goal cards here. And this was the most back and forth I had with Rue. And so the idea was you can build out some goals here, allow those savings to distribute here based on an allocation, and make sure that it's allocating correctly. And then if you try to add a new goal, and let's say I try to add 5%, it's going to give me an error because you've already allocated 100% of your savings. So funny enough, this was the thing that took me the longest to build in this particular product. I have a settings page to just change password, things like that. And then let's come back to this dashboard page. One of the things that I wanted to optimize for is, I wanted this to be a mobile app. And so I thought about the UX in the form of what it would look like on your phone, which through a SnapDev extension allowed me to do that very easily, which is very encouraging. Can I pause there? The future goal is to actually build out the projections card and then also execute on what the savings could look like. So extract away all of the subsequent steps that would be needed for that dollar to turn into Bitcoin. And so I'm going to continue this effort over the next few months.
That's awesome, Sanjay. Thanks for that. I think this is pretty incredible. And with that, we have Gal, who's probably going to be the last demo we have, because I think Abhi is away. So, Gal, do you want to take over?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. So hi, everyone. My name is Gal, and I'm here to introduce you to Strive. Strive is a learning platform where the people you admire most become your personal mentors by giving you direct feedback that transforms your growth. I've been a mentor and learner from mentors throughout life, including in this bootcamp, by the way, which is why building this has been a true mission I'm super passionate about. If Kajabi, Circle, and Maven were built for courses, Strive is built for feedback-first learning, where creators guide their learners personally on their progress by providing feedback on goals that learners complete. Think of Steph Curry, someone I believe all of us know. Millions of kids watch his YouTube drills, but they plateau because what they really need is Steph to see their crossover and say, hey, keep your left hand a little lower and you'll nail it. That one piece of feedback that changes everything. Now, imagine the wow effect of a notification on your phone. Steph Curry just reviewed your dribble. Motivation skyrockets. And while Steph feels out of reach, Strive makes him reachable in a way that protects his time and creates value on both sides. And it's not just sports. In every industry, there are experts that learners dream of hearing from. From interviews I've conducted with mentors and learners, I've heard of dream mentors in every skill, from makeup artists to singing, surfing, you name it. People crave personal attention and feedback from people they admire, and Strive closes that gap efficiently. So I've created an example, of course, of how to use Strive correctly, so we can see this in motion. And this is where you actually register to the course. I'm going to make it easy and already kind of filled up everything. If anybody ever wanted to steal money from me, this is your shot. I'm going to post my not real, don't worry, credit card details, and then basically register. And then what you'll see is that we're enrolling in the course right away. The whole idea is to give learners the ability to learn fast. You know, a lot of mentors said it. They don't want their learners to get stuck in new apps and not sure how to do it. So simplicity is key. You can see all of the overview of the goals themselves in the course. And then from there, go to the goal itself. And again, everything is about giving them a great experience. So this is actually a preview course of how to use Strive, right? Really focusing on the ability of why this feedback loop, you know, gives you that extra motivation. So you have everything from different sections, you know, personal notes from the mentors, what you'll achieve, how to complete this goal, things to worry about and things to make sure of. Transformation, right? What it would look like after you learn something, and then the ability to submit the goal itself. So in this case, this goal is all about sharing what type of skill would you want to learn. So I'll put myself, just for this example, would love to learn how to dribble from Steph Curry. I've been in basketball most of my life. Submit for review. And then what happens is basically it celebrates the submission. It shows the submission for the learner, and it also shows them that now they're awaiting feedback, but it also doesn't stop them from keep on going, right? Everything is about keeping on going, creating motivation. So at this point, they're awaiting feedback from the mentor, and all they have to do is to continue to their next goal. You can see it also auto posts into the chat. And so everything is focused and connected in one place for both the learner and the mentor. Now I'm going to show you the mentor side, and we've already interviewed plenty of mentors and talked to them. We have people with letter of intent I'll talk about in a moment, but everything for them is about simplicity. They want to be able to see everything. They want to be able to see the learners that are posting, So not only you can see it right here, but this is legacy. This is everything that you've done as a mentor, who you're helping. You can see Jerry Smith, the person that just responded, that just submitted the goal. And by clicking, you can go to the chat specifically with them. So everything is all collected in one place. Super simple. Kind of created an internal chat like WhatsApp where you can do video calls, video recordings, voice messages, file uploads, and then you post your feedback. So in this case, this is a text feedback, right? So I'm going to say, oh my God, great, great. Would love to talk to Steph and get him on Strive. Right? That'd be cool. So I'm going to submit the feedback now. And then what you'll be able to see is not only that it submits it, but in my course management, it actually shows me all of the analytics, exactly which learners are in which goals and what's already progressed. And then it also shows me all of the course details. This is where I build the course. You can see this one is already pre-built, of course, all the FAQs, and then the goals themselves. Now, goals are really about making it simple for the mentor to build, but at the same time, while it's easy here, you want to be able to see how it looks for the learner itself. So you also have preview pages that look exactly the way that the learner sees it, like you guys saw on the other end. I'm going to go back now to the learner. Let's give it a quick refresh. And then you'll be able to see the submission right here. The feedback. So now basically it's a celebration. What you don't see in this demo, I wish I could have showed you my mobile as well, but I've already built the PWA web version app on mobile that would send a notification to the phone. So I want you to imagine you as a learner submitting a goal, let's say to Steph Curry, and you go to sleep and you wake up in the morning and you see a notification on your phone, Steph Curry just watched your dribble and provided feedback. That wow effect, that trigger is really what creates that extra motivation and want to keep you going. Lastly is how we get our mentors. So I'll talk about the ones we've already talked to, but I will share that I've created a funnel to recruit mentors. I already hid them from the CRM so you wouldn't see personal details, but basically they'll be able to see this video right here. And then I've hooked this up with webhooks to a CRM already that gives me all the details. So I'll just create this here, basically creating a profile for the mentor. And then as they submit everything, it comes to me and basically I can simply see it over there. So I'm going to skip this. And now you're seeing that my CRM actually tracks them. It also gives me all of the details of what they filled up, all of the mentor profile. And it already sends them emails saying, hey, I would like to schedule a call with you to see if you're the right mentor for Strive as well. So everything is fully connected, thankfully. And the whole idea I want to reiterate is celebration, right? A lot of mentors these days are kind of stuck with existing platforms that they just teach the masses, but they don't get that gratification of teaching personally. Strive changes that, and it really makes it, for both sides, giving them that huge value. This isn't theory. I've interviewed dozens from my ICP creators with 50,000 plus followers. People like Alon Levine, for example, a world-class photographer with 70,000 followers across platforms. He makes a few $100s a month from teaching at the whim of algorithms. He tried Kajabi, he tried self-hosted courses, but he told me these platforms don't help me connect. They just dump content. What I want is to actually guide my learners without burning out on endless calls. My Ironman coach, Jeff, works with 40 plus athletes across the country. And when he saw how Strive simplifies the personal feedback, he said, I feel like a headless horse running around, trying to provide value wherever I can remember. So this feels like I'll be able to keep track with each athlete and actually help them personally and stay sane, right? So that's exactly what Strive solves. And I already have signed LOIs from prominent YouTube influencers ready to use Strive. They see this as a missing piece, a way to deliver impact and grow revenue without sacrificing time. There's more coming, communities, AI assist tools, and much more, but MVP is all about proving the core feedback loop. And for that, my background matters. I'm not from tech, never coded before. I built and sold courses myself in the solar energy industry after a career in sales. So I know this pain well, and that's why our mentors resonate immediately. I'll close by saying that Strive is focused on a different category, feedback first learning, right? And for me, it's Cameo meets Masterclass for whoever knows them. It's the people that we admire providing us personal guidance. And for learners, it means saying Steph Curry shaped my crossover or Alon shaped my portfolio. For mentors, it means saying I helped this person and look where they are today, not just I sold my course to 100 people. That's impact, that's legacy, and for me, that's the future of learning. Strive is building it now and without coding experience. And SnapDev helped me build my years-long mission and vision in just the past 2 weeks.
That's amazing. Thank you, Gal. And maybe you could post in the chat because we're out of time, but post in the chat how we can invest. um, so last up we have Abhi. So this is going to be the last demo. So I'd like to thank everyone for taking out the time and going overtime and being here. And thank you for being a part of this cohort. It doesn't end here. It's just the beginning. I feel like this is all community and there's a long-term relationship I'd love to continue with. So you have access to the Slack. Let's stay in touch. Let's see progress and tell me how I can help you. So Abhi, do you wanna take over for the last one and then we'll have voting?
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Great. So thank you so much for letting me present at last. Okay, so what I'm building. So this is going to be a enterprise level solution for a trade promotional platform where you have multiple agents coming through and working together with all the data, everything, every information that you have throughout the ecosystem, throughout your enterprise. So right now, what I have done is I have created this Helios multi-agent business intelligence platform right now. So it turns your CSV file, which might be your internal data of your company, into some strategic insights. So for that, what I have done is I have created uh, this software where you can come here, you can create a goal. Goal is to say increase the Q4 revenue by 25%, which is the one of the goal. You can have multiple goals based on that, or a distributor can have other goals. For example, a distributor of Coca-Cola can have certain goals for one buyer, for another buyer, and they intend to increase their revenue by 25%. So this is the goal where you come here, where you set the goal, and once you create that goal, you go inside that goal and you try to allocate all the information that you have. So you might need in order to achieve that goal, you might need some customer data, employee data, financial data, marketing data. So you bring all those data. So you bring all those sales customer data and you upload it here. What it does is like it will index your data into vectorized knowledge base, and so that you can query with natural language. So it currently, when I come here and upload a file, it will create a knowledge base in my database. So now, right now, all knowledge base is created. Now what happens is when I come to this chat is embedded to this particular goal. So when I ask a question related to any information about this entire interface or any data, it should be able to answer it. So for example, if I say, how can I increase my revenue uh, and decrease my churns? Sorry, let's see. So I have utilized 3 different agents for it. Build a router agent, a retrieval agent, and synthesizer agent. These 3 agents for this chat system only. So these 3 agents within this chat system will be controlled by orchestrator to do 3 things. First, it will try to retrieve the database, try to understand what the question is, and then have set up the prompt for it, and then it will try to access that database and try to retrieve as many information as it can, and then based on that question it will try to answer your question. So say I said, how can I increase my revenue? See, there are a lot of things that can be corrected in the question, but I just gave him the simple prompt and it gave me let's expand this. It gave me a detailed answer We say to effectively increase your revenue, decrease customer churn, you have to leverage this. Your currently revenue is this. And right now it is extracting those information using these key insights, and also it will show you what data sources it use. So it is using existing data sources that I've uploaded. So in order to answer any of your question. So why is this important? Because when I'm building something more out of it, this chart system would know that I have the knowledge base to do certain tasks that I need for the future. So for example, now I know the director would come here or the manager would come here or simply know whatever question he or she might have should be answerable with this chat system. This is so good. Great. Now, once the fund is utilized in order to increase the revenue or in order to do certain tasks, you need to reimburse that, or you need to know what are the funds, in what way the funds were used, and you need to know like if the funds is properly utilized or not. So we have created a auditor agent for that. It is completely different agent. So what it does is like whenever you upload a expenses file, it will try to create a panel to show you like these when uploading the expenses, these were the expenses, and these some of them were flagged, and these were the reason for the flag. So if I go inside, it will tell you exact reason why it was flagged and what was the reason for that being flagged. And yes, so this is where you claim your expenses and you flag it all using AI. So this is one thing. And we also try to make this treasurer where in future, if I want to create a new goal and I want to set a right amount for that particular goal, I need to know how much amount I need to fix. So I cannot have just one a simple amount, say 5 million for that quarter. I need to have the actual amount. So treasury agent will help you decide what to do with that. And you can run optimization, see where you're bleeding more, where you can optimize it further. So it is a collection of all the data you currently have in your ecosystem. It is intelligently deciding everything for you. So right now it is goal-based agent. So what I wanted to make is like a fully agentic thing. So which will be able to decide, work, and do all kind of his tasks by himself all the time. So any user can, any director or any administrator can come here and see what's working, what's not. So this is what I've built so far, and I'm still progressing towards the next step, which is to build this more agentic and make it more better, which is, of course, the core goal. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you like this.
This is incredible, Abhi. Like, you've completely blown it out of the park. So congratulations. Awesome. I know we're 23 minutes over. Eamon, if you wanna open up the polls, let's do some quick polling. Congratulations, everyone. Still a little unbelievable, even for me, that this happened in 2.5 weeks. So the poll is up. Please vote for your top pick, and then we should have results. So think about it. Let's take a minute and then poll. I'm thinking, and it's super tough for me to figure out who I want to poll for because it's such amazing projects. Eamon, will we have the results right now, or how does it work?
Yeah, so we're gonna get the results right now as soon as everybody's done voting.
We have some AI note takers as well. Will it wait for them or what?
No, I can close it on my own.
Okay, so let's give it maybe one more minute and then we are going to close the poll. Anyone has any comments to share so far?
Speechless. Just like, what? That was amazing. It was so incredible.
Is Yeah, I'm pretty mind blown right now because I haven't seen all the demos. I've seen bits and pieces because I was switching rooms, but this is insane. Awesome.
Just wanted
Eamon, let's.
to, I just
Sorry.
wanted to the SnapDev team like an applause again. This has been fantastic. You guys really went above and beyond.
Thank you so much, Minky. Really, really appreciate it. I think at the end of the day, the core thing was like just don't give up. What I said day one, and you'll make it through. Okay, Eamon, let's close the polls and then announce the winners. I would, you know,
Just one thing you said, winners. We probably just got to vote for one person.
yeah. So everyone voted for different. So first
Yeah.
person that gets the highest votes, then the second that got the second highest votes. Okay, so we have the results. So first up, we have the winner. That is Gal. So congratulations, Gal. You won. Um, this is awesome. You are the first winner. I should have gone in reverse. Oh no. But anyways, it's um so Gal is the first winner of the entire boot camp. Second up, we have Danny. So Danny, congratulations. You are second up. And I don't know what to do about the third because we have a three-way tie. So I think what we're gonna do is post the poll on Slack between the three. So the three-way tie is between wait. I'm just gonna make sure I'm not missing anyone. Yep, three-way tie. No, actually, sorry, it's not a three-way tie. Yeah, I missed one person. So third one is Abhi.
Abhi, yeah.
Yes, my bad. Yep, sorry. This is going through, the image was cropped. So we don't have a tie. After Abhi, we have a tie. Okay, so the votes are here on the screen, so everyone can see as well. Awesome, amazing job. This was incredible experience for me as well. Lots of learning, lot of things that we have to continue to build on and improve. So thank you for all the feedback. Nobody's gonna get any winning awards if they don't fill out the form, or just fill the form, please. The feedback form. I think that's super critical. And yeah, thank you everyone. If anyone wants to stay back just to chat, happy to be here. But anyone that wants to hop off, thank you so much. This was an incredible experience. We'll continue to improve it. Would love some support. Share this on your LinkedIn. That's how we spread the love, spread the word, and grow the community. Gal, you have something to say? Congrats. So I think we
Yeah,
should hear from top three people.
I just wanted to say one thing. I talked about mentorship today, something very close to my heart. First of all, I think real mentors are the ones that only talk about their learners and what they do. And this is such a great example. This whole boot camp doesn't talk too much about, what they did for us, but it's all about like the amazing work we've done. So you guys are amazing. You have literally made, dreams come true for me, and I know so many others as well. I think honestly, I would refer this to anyone who's serious about building something real. And actually doing it in 2 weeks is, to me, just looking back at the last 2 weeks, it's been insane, just insane. And I also want to say, first of all, thank you so much for the award. Everything is great, but I have seen so many people's demos already, and everyone have done such an amazing job that I just want to share the love and say that everyone's been amazing. The whole community has just been just unbelievable. So huge thank you.
Thanks a lot, Gal. Like really, really appreciate it. And then let's like stay on Slack, continue. Like Slack is for everyone. It's not like whether you have a subscription or not, you are on Slack. So let's stay connected. Let's keep building. We're doing that. We had a call earlier for cohort 1. So this is like super important for us, for me personally as well, to see, you become successful. I think that's the best reward we all could possibly get. Danny, any thoughts? Congrats on coming second, if you're still around.
Thanks. Look, I think I'll echo a bunch of what Gal said. Like I've had a great time. I came into this having played with a bunch of vibe coding tools and was always kind of frustrated with they did things really quickly. And then to go from there to an actual application was just like I have no idea how to do it. I've had people tell me to just use AI tools and try and build something, but frankly, like I don't know about many of you, but I had no idea how to even get started. I didn't know what VS Code was. I didn't know how to like get a local environment running on my machine. I knew not a damn thing. And this thing is addicting, right? Like I think it would be interesting for people to post in the Cohort channel how many hours they've spent on this, because there would be times where my wife got so pissed at me at some points in the last 2.5 weeks because I'll like sit down to do something. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do something for like 10 minutes. And then 2 hours later, she's like, what happened to you? I'm like, I can't stop. It's just, it's like, it's so much fun to do this stuff. So like, I think it's so awesome to see what everyone built. And the fact that I think the vast majority of people, Kasim, you said, are non-engineers, right? Like I'm not an engineer. I'm a product and business person. So to have all this stuff work and actually have it be like real applications using real data and real API connections that everyone put together is super cool. So I'm grateful to the team for just like being there to, to help guide us. For me personally, like I needed the guidance more than I needed the dev support. And I thought I was going to need the dev support more, but actually like the guidance really helped a lot.
Yep. No, thanks. Thank you for that, Danny. And like big shout out once again to Osama and Zan, who've been like just like there every single day, every single minute. It's like 1:30 a.m. their time right now, and they're on this call. If people don't know, these calls happen 12 a.m. their time every day. So like it's pretty incredible. And I have a daily sync every day with them at 10:30 a.m. their time. So you can calculate how much sleep they're getting. And they start in the morning and end at 1:32 a.m. every day. So like it's crazy. Okay, last but we have Abhi. First question everyone has is like, how did you do this in 2 weeks? So, Danny, we had I think 4 or 5 people with engineering experience, past engineering experience. Everybody else was non-engineers.
Yeah, so to answer that, okay, can I answer it?
Yes.
Okay, so I created the framework when I was creating my agents. I thought maybe I'll just try to create a chat system, and then I was seeing the most recent developments around Google and everything, and that same day I saw something they have created, which was really awesome. So in the night, I just came down and I wanted to create something very simple using multiple agent architecture. So I just wanted my chat to be more interactive, more intelligent. So what I wanted to do is like I I created multiple agents, meaning given them multiple tasks and having orchestrator orchestrate all those three agents for their different purposes. So when I ask the question, there is one agent that has its own custom prompt and also has its own database access, and it will try to use its own prompt to access it and get the information it wanted and build a context. So that context will then be used by second agent to create the another result. And so the third agent would get the collective of all the results, and orchestrator will finally show you what we wanted to see.
That's
Hey,
pretty
Avi, what's the multi-agent architecture that you use, like the multi-agent framework?
Actually, I have created my own. I created multi agents, and then I used the orchestrator program to just navigate through all of them, one after another.
Nice.
Abhi, do look into Autogen. You might have seen it, right?
Correct.
So Autogen is like super easy to use. So that's pretty incredible. Awesome. So thank you everyone. This was like it's like hard work paying off being in this call. So thank you everyone for making such awesome demos. I think Osama and Zan should sleep for 2 days. You guys can miss the stand-up tonight and just take some time off. thank you, everybody. Osama, last note from you, and then we end it.
Yes, so it was like great experience. I also got to learn a lot of things from you guys. Let's say when I am debugging things or maybe working on some complex integrations, like for the first time I did meta integration. So it was, I think, a great learning experience for me as well.
Okay, amazing. So yeah, thank you everyone. Let's stay in touch. I'll post about if you want to be part of the subscriptions and everything, and then you'll all be part of the community for as long as you want. So I'm always available, just one DM away. I have a bunch of DMs to answer, which I'll get back to today. But thank you everybody. This was awesome. And thank you to the mentors as well. Thank you for everything. Thanks everyone. Bye.